All right. So someone hit me up and they want me to talk about lifestyle. Okay. What lifestyle do I love? What lifestyle do I like to live? As you guys can see, you see the lifestyle that I like to live. You see the lifestyle that I want. I want to be able to provide for my family. I want to be able to live where I want to live, eat where I want to eat, and go where I want to go. I like living by the beach. That is something for me that's a must to live by the beach. And as you guys know, I lived in Hawaii like 3 times in my life. I've lived in the beach in Virginia. That's just something that I truly love. And for me, it's a no-go if I'm not near a beach. All right, as you guys know, I love Corvettes. I love Porsches too. You know, and I was deciding between, do I get a Porsche or do I get a Corvette? I went with the Corvette. I think next I'll probably go with the Porsche. Okay, I mean, I love a GT3, but I mean, that's like, I think 300,000 or something like that. So I just don't think that that's fiscally responsible, me paying that type of money for a car. I also like to vacation. Of course, I like to vacation in tropical areas. You know, do I go to Hawaii? Do I go to Bali? Like one of my dreams. I've never been to Bali. I've never even been to, I haven't been to Thailand either. So those are 2 places that, you know, I'm thinking about vacationing at. And will probably be great for me in my life. And I don't like, you know, the term bucket list. I just have a list of things that I'd like to do, or a list of places that I'd like to go, and I just mark them off one by one. But again, now we're talking lifestyle. You know, you got to be able to afford that lifestyle. So it's like, what do we do to be able to afford the lifestyle that we want? Now, you can work a job, start a business, side hustle, etc., etc., etc. But the fact remains, you got to be able to make the money to live the lifestyle that you want. You know, you go to an expensive restaurant, you know, I pull up, now you see Porsches, Corvettes, Mercedes, and the most expensive cars are always out front. So the cars that cost about 100,000 or more are usually always out front. Now, all of those people who are able to afford those types of cars have to make a lot of money to be able to live that lifestyle. Now, some people are faking it till they're making it, but where I live at, there's a lot of people who are making a lot of money with houses on the water, docks where they can bring their boats up to, not necessarily in my neighborhood, but in the neighborhood down the street from where I live. There's a lot of people living that way. So for those of you out there who are not living the lifestyle that you want or whatever, you need to really put a plan together if you want to be able to afford that lifestyle. If you want to be able to afford a boat is super expensive. Between the repairs that need to be made, you know, gas prices are super high. Even now, you buy a Corvette, you buy a Porsche, you're going to be spending about $100 at the pump, depending on where you work or how far you work from your house. At least 4 or 5, maybe you might get 5 days out of it. Every 4 or 5 days, you're going to be filling up if you have a Porsche or if you have a Corvette, to just be able to drive it if you're using it as a daily driver. Heck, even if it's a weekend car and you're driving around 100 miles, 100 plus miles or so, you're going to probably be half a tank and probably want to fill it up. Most of the people that I know own supercars or super expensive cars. They never let it go down below like a half a tank. That's part of their lifestyle. But most of the time, if you're buying those types of expensive cars, you don't really care about the gas, because more likely than not, you can afford the gas, repairs, etc., etc. And those are usually the people who purchase those vehicles. Not saying all of them, but I would probably venture to say the vast majority of the people who are purchasing those vehicles or own those type of vehicles, that they can afford them, and it's just a part of their lifestyle and what they want. Look at that. Look at all these beautiful people out in the middle of the day. Beautiful people everywhere. You know, it's part of their lifestyle. Now, a lot of people that I know who are business owners, their lifestyle is they work when they want to work. They get up when they want to get up. They go to the gym. They go to the coffee shop. They have their laptops with them. They shower at the gym. They take their laptop to Starbucks or to whatever coffee shop they want to hang out at, and they work. A lot of the guys that I know who are making millions own e-commerce businesses. They do a lot of business on the internet. They'll have employees But most of what they're doing is following up on their employees and working their business remote. They can vacation whenever they like. That is their lifestyle. They'll have a central hub somewhere, but then they'll vacation or they can work wherever they like. Okay? And for me, eventually that's a life or a lifestyle that I'd love to live as well. I love to be able to work on the internet, work from home, work from the beach. But a good buddy of mine, Tony, he lives in Hawaii. He works from the beach a lot. Shout out to Tony. I'm gonna tag you in this video. So, for you guys out there and the person who hit me up in my DMs and was asking me about lifestyle, what is it that you want? Like, how do you want to live? What do you want your lifestyle to be for you, your kids? Do you want to be able to drop your kids off every day? Do you want to work in corporate America? Do you want to be stuck in traffic? That's 100% up to you. You could be a hybrid worker, whereas though you work, some days in the office and some days, you're at home. Or you could be an entrepreneur. I mean, to really live the lifestyle that you want, I would venture to say you probably want to be an entrepreneur. You can go wherever you want to go, when you want to go, there, depending on the job. And if you build a business like I told you my other friends have, they all work from home or wherever they're at. And so look at this. These people, their lifestyle, middle of the day. I don't know if these people are like homeschooling their kids or whatever, but they're at where they want to be. They're at the beach, And so I remember when I was in Hawaii and I was about to buy a house in Hawaii, and a real estate agent told me that I wasn't doing my job as a husband, as a father, because my family wasn't at the beach that day. I didn't understand it then, but I do understand it now. Our job is to make things easier and lighter on everything. On our families as a man. And, I want my family to be able to be at the beach whenever they want. So I'm willing to put in the work. All right. Good luck to you guys. Peace.